We are living in the golden age of movies for the geeks. From The Lord of the Rings and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to the return of Star Wars, and more Star Trek movies. You know, specifically the ones by J.J. Abrams and the company. Boo! Yeah, I can imagine Star Trek 3, The Search for Bullshit! For the foreseeable future, there's going to be no end to movies that will give us great, awesome nerd boners. But we're talking Hollywood here. It's probably only a matter of time before that goes straight to hell and they start giving us crap. So yeah, Middle-earth is played out. There's bound to eventually be a movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that sucks. I mean, we've gotten close with the Thor flicks, but let's be honest, that's kind of just, let's ease it on along until we get the next Avengers flick. DC will inevitably give us disappointing movies for the future, even with the Justice League movies on the way. And Disney owns Star Wars. Look at him ride! Look at him ride! Fact is, being a geek means you don't necessarily want to see what everybody else wants to see. In fact, you actively seek stuff that's more niche than most people. So today, we are going to come up with a list of 5 films that every geek should be watching, should have watched already, or if you haven't watched them, when you finish with this episode, maybe a few more, lots more, watch my entire playlist. Awesome. You should be going and watching them right now! Crap, how do I get to the random? I've already got my fingers out. Am I just yelling at you for being a dumbass? Well, there's always the fun way to do it. Transitions are awesome. You're on Random Bits of Geek! Our first flick that we're going to talk about today is Revenge of the Nerds. Now this obviously is the oldest on the list. It's over 30 years old. It's a Hollywood flick, and I'm going to get into it a little bit plot-wise because I'm pretty certain there's a good chunk of you that haven't seen it, but you should. The quick condensed plot is nerds move onto campus, get tormented by jocks, get some revenge against jocks. It builds up till you have a big contest and they win and get the girls and get laid and all that cool shit, and they get high, and science stuff! And a geeky video, which I think Family Guy parodied, because Family Guy's parodies everything awesome from the 80s. Seth, you thieving son of a whore! The big thing about this flick is it is the first time we see the nerds come into their own and be the heroes of the flick rather than being the sidekicks or the comic relief or anything like that. Although, a lot of times they are the comic relief. But all the nerds, different genres of nerds. I mean, you got tech geeks, you got losers, you've got a gay nerd, and they all melt into awesome. And then they get sequels, which aren't as good as the original. And then they get sequels where they don't get the original cast back, and yada 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 yada, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that sucks. Our second flick we're going to talk about is Real Genius. This came a year after Revenge of the Nerds. The big thing about this one is this one does not have the cliched geek. This is much more accurate to what geeks were like and are like today, in that it portrays them in a real light. It's definitely also a Hollywood movie, being it's helmed by Val Kilmer, and of course our favorite asshole character maker, Bill Atherton. Good job for you, dick. To give you the quick plot rundown on this one, you have a 15-year-old goes off to college with a lot of super intelligent nerds, finds the leader of the nerds by Val Kilmer, and learns to not be such an uptight asshole while using a laser to dick with Bill Atherton's dick character, which is awesome. His dick! An additional bit of trivia. Both movies feature Michelle Merink. She appears as a girlfriend in both flicks, which is awesome. Continuity of boobs! Boobs! Our third essential flick is a movie called Hackers. It came out a decade later, and unfortunately, it sucks. But it sucks in a good way. It's Hollywood's attempt at covering the hacker culture, which is awesome and terrible at the same time, from both a technological standpoint, a reality standpoint, and the fact that they make a hacker out of Angelina Jolie. Although, side boob. I won't even go into the plot in detail. This bears no actual resemblance to anything. It's more like a Hollywood parody of what real hackers would be doing. For example, no real hacker would put themselves on a screen. But then again, what do you expect? It's Hollywood. So let's get away from that to Hollywood, because Hollywood is evil. Just think Michael Bay. Now we're going to get serious about awesome geek movies. We're going from Hollywood to one of the most independent films I can think of, and that is The Gamer's Darkness Rising. If you're not familiar with Darkness Rising, it is actually available on YouTube, and I think I can find a link to appear magically here for you, maybe, if I am remembering to do so, but I could forget because I'm that way. This is actually the second Gamer's flick. The first one is watchable and fun. This one, however, is the definitive look at what it is to be a gamer. If you want to see what gaming is really about, this is the flick to watch. It has memorable characters. It has a bard that dies constantly. Let me tempt her like a shot in the head. It features a plot that explores some of the issues that the gaming community still has, like women in gaming. It spawned a good sequel in Hands of Fate, and we're looking forward to seeing everything that comes out of Washington from Dead Gentleman and Zombie Orpheus, because they're awesome and we like them. Awesome stuff. Which reminds me, if you have a chance, go ahead and go back to our Red Shirt interviews, because from The Gamers, we talked to Jen Page and Scott C. Brown, who are awesome and great, and my children's idol, because awesome. What'd I do that for? 'Cause you're motherfucking shit, licking shit. Our final flick is one that gives me a particular nerd boner, second only to The Gamers, of course, and that is Fanboys. Because unlike Lars, who is a Trekkie, Trekkie! I'm a Star Wars geek. And this movie is a tribute to Star Wars geeks, and the way we view the world, and how awesome things are. And exactly what level of hype there was when Star Wars Episode 1 was about to come out, and we were about to cream ourselves in anticipation, and we knew it was going to be the most awesome thing. The movie sums this up with the very last line of the flick.
Hey, you guys. What if the movie sucks?
So, if you want to really discover what goes on in a Star Wars geek's head, and I don't think we're quite holding on to this level of anticipation for The Force Awakens, because it's not like JJ could mess it up worse, could he?
My name is Khan.
Could he? So that's it. That's the list. The definitive list that we here at Red Shirt Geeks could come up with for nerd movies, geek movies, that you should absolutely sit down and watch. Now, I'm sure I missed a few. So if you have any comments, drop them, share, and we may do another video about this in the future if you do. But the most important thing is to sit down and watch all of these, even if you have to be creative in acquiring them. 4 out of the 5 I think I've had to creatively acquire to watch recently. So yeah, Gamers is on YouTube, so there you go. But the other 4, get them however you need to. Come on, Netflix, don't screw us. And if you sit down and get an entire day and watch these, you will have a nerd boner as proud as the one I have right now. Sorry. Be right back. episode 15, oh, 19. 1519, yeah, I wrote that. Okay, I make sure.
It's just too bad there wasn't like a blade in the middle of that thing you just put on your neck. That.
If you digitally remove my head, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But oh well. That's up to you, bitches. Bitch titties, I got bitch titties. Look at that titties, titties, titties. Ooh. Oh, I'm kind of getting turned on here. Okay, we're going to have to stop the camera while I go jerk off.
Why stop?
Because I don't think you want...
Just look right down the camera eye and just finish.
Ah! Okay, I'm done. That was quick. And the movie encapsulates... And the movie encapsulates this... And the movie encapsulates this... Encapsulates... And the movie sums this up, because I can't fucking say the line!